I'm so excited to have my friends back from the ACC. We were just chatting, like we can't remember how many events we've done together, maybe 4 lives. We've done a couple of private in-person ones as well. We did a big group in-person one in Hampton a couple years ago, which we're talking about doing another live event. Keep that on your radar. Um, for anybody that's not familiar with NicaLove, we're a pretty small grassroots organization. We're kicking ass in Nicaragua though, so don't let the size of our little organization fool you. We're an American organization. We work in Nicaragua. Founded in early 2018. The focus began with spay neuter wellness initiatives, and then grew into me partnering with my current animal welfare partner in Nicaragua. She's been partnered with me from the start. We decide, so I support some of her rescue cases as well. And then we were working so tightly together that I just decided I wanted to do, I didn't decide, we as an organization decided we were going to build an animal shelter down there. So we opened our doors this year. Oh, it's been a year. Actually, it was just in February. We have 300 animals on our property in our shelter, and we are now like starting to get back into being able to increase the numbers of animals that we spay and neuter every year and get back to our community work. We work in impoverished communities where, as any of you know, in the rescue world, homeless and abandoned animals, I mean, it's crazy when there's no opportunities for them. $25, the money that you paid to come here tonight, paid for a spay or neuter. That's how much I paid for a spay neuter down in Nicaragua. Let's see. I think that's pretty much NicaLove in the nutshell, I would say. I have to shout out to my girl, Karen Dendy Smith. One of the readers tonight is actually a board member. I'm honored to have her on our board. Thank you, Karen. And I think because the most important part of tonight is hearing what these beautiful humans have to say to you from your animals, I want to just turn right over to the ACC. These guys are amazing. They give so much back to our community, our animal welfare community. So thank you guys. I don't know how you did that, but thank you for making hearts. How do you do that? Thank you for all you've done for us. We've raised thousands of dollars with the ACC, which has been amazing. So
Wonderful.
I'm not going to get sappy. I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Well, thank you, Julie, and welcome everyone. We're so great to see you all. We know many of you and appreciate all your support through the events that we do. I just want to say to those who don't know us yet, who are we in a nutshell? We are the Animal Communication Collective. We have been around now for, goodness, like 3 years now, which I can't believe. Yeah. And we came together as a group of professionally certified animal communicators, all graduating from the same school. And usually in our world, once you learn to do animal communication, as we say, do animal communication, you end up becoming kind of a siloed solo type person in the world. But we all came together and we have this incredible bond and camaraderie. And as we came together, I'm sure some of you have heard this story. My cat Hockey Puck kind of downloaded some information to me one day in the craziest way about all of us coming together and working together to help animals have a better voice. And the place to do it was where they were all collected anyway, which was in animal rescues, sanctuaries, and shelters. And so I brought that information and that rough idea to these amazing women who were here. And they all dove in like immediately to help craft and build this amazing organization. And so now we have close to 30 members, professionally certified communicators, all working together, helping each other, even outside of this fundraising organization, to do our best to communicate animal messages for their people and support humans and animals, creating a better understanding of each other. And so it's quite an honor that we were able to come together and do this. We fundraise all around the country, actually around the world. We have a few events now happening in India, which is really cool with one of our members. And, you know, our goal is to just give 100% of our time and to support the animals in the best way that we can. So we're so thrilled that you're here tonight and really, really grateful for your support for NicaLove. So Julie, do you want to remind people about what's happening with raffles and stuff?
Oh, we have raffle tickets. All of your names have been added to the, yeah, Julie, me or Julie Hirt, sorry.
Julie,
Me.
it says Julie B in my
Okay. All of your names have been added to a wheel of names that I have set up on my desktop. So if you bought 1 ticket, 3 packs, 8 packs, whatever you bought, every single ticket that you purchase goes into this wheel of names. There's 280, no, sorry, 119. I was a little off. Names. And so we'll spin the wheel 5 times because there'll be 5 winners. And we'll do that. Do you want to do that at the end?
We'll do that at the end.
Do that at the end. And you do not need to be present. If you have to leave for some reason, or if the person didn't end up attending, I know who everyone is and we'll reach out to you privately. And then you'll be matched with one of the communicators from tonight.
And if you like what you're seeing and you didn't buy a raffle ticket yet, and you're like, oh gosh, I want to get one now, that part of the ticket purchasing is still open and available. Will be till about halfway through the event. So you can always jump on and buy a few raffle tickets and you will be included by the time we do it.
Perfect.
Okay. And so again, also, we are recording this evening, as you all know. If you turn your camera on, you're consenting to be seen, because we'll be putting this up on our YouTube afterward and Julie will be able to share it. So in case you missed it, you can go back and watch later. Also, please remember that if you want a reading tonight, you have to have your camera on. If you don't leave your camera on, if you stay with just your name or just a blank photo of yourself, we're going to assume you don't want a reading. You're just here to kind of hang out, support, and watch. Okay. All right. So let's get into introductions. As I said, I'm Karen Dendy Smith. I'm the founder and one of the directors of the Animal Communication Collective. I have a background not only in animal communication, but in soul level intuitive coaching, which is connecting with spirit guides to help people understand their journey in life from a more spiritual perspective. I also have a background in Chinese energy medicine called Pangu Shenggong, where I teach Qigong and also work with people and animals and do energy work and do classes. So that's my background. I'm a recovering advertising person. I left the marketing advertising world after 28 years, and I do this full time, and I am so happy. So I'm so glad that I left that world. And with that, I'm going to I'm in Boston. Meredith would be mad at me if I don't tell you where I am. So I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. And Meredith, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things about the fact that we're all so familiar with Zoom now is knowing where everybody is. You know, we're all over the place. I'm Meredith Deas Tollison. I am in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to do all of this online. I'm also a certified soul level animal communicator and soul level intuitive coach. I'm a certified dog trainer with a focus on behavioral issues. Although I'm not practicing as a dog trainer anymore, it sparked a passion in me. And I learned animal communication. I also am certified in the Let Animals Lead Reiki practice. I am not yet a recovering business entrepreneur. I'm still a full-time working person, and I have found my passion in this. So I do this work with the ACC and the animal communication, unfortunately, part-time on the side, but it's so important to me. Develop such amazing relationships and such a sense of community around this work. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much. Jody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jody Crotty, and I live just north of Karen in New Hampshire. So we have about 8 inches of snow right now. I started on this journey as a veterinary technician for 10 years, and then I became a pet loss professional. So not to weird anybody out, but I'm also a certified cremation operator. So being part of that and helping grieving families with the loss of their pet in that sense. I too am a soul level animal communicator with all these fabulous ladies. And I just finished my book, which you can probably see right there. Do You Talk with Animals? All of the animals in the book are animals that I've communicated with, and there is a stink bug in the book. So yes, I've talked to the bugs. So that's it for me. I'm so excited to have everybody here. It's going to be an amazing evening of connection and love. And we often say sometimes we will make you laugh, cry, or someone has to go to the bathroom. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Julie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Julie Hirt. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which if you know the Mitten State, I'm over here. We don't have snow right now. We must have sent it all your way. So sorry about that. I am a certified soul level animal communicator and a certified soul level intuitive coach, like my colleagues here as well. And I too am a recovering advertising executive. I used to run account service departments for agencies, advertising agencies back in the day. And COVID pushed me out of my job. And now I do this full time too. And just like Karen said, I couldn't be happier. That's my dog Lucas in the back, who will support the event all night. I am also a co-host of a fantastic new podcast with Meredith and Karen called the Animal Communication Podcast that you can find on Apple and Spotify and mindbodyspirit.fm. So I hope you check it out and give us some feedback as to what you think as well. And I couldn't be happier to be here again with the NicaLove team for Julie Burke, because this is one of my favorite charities. So excited to be here. Thank you.
And Tracey and Anne, please wave to everyone. Just say hi really quick. These two fabulous communicators are here helping us tonight in the chat. They won't be doing readings. Our team kind of builds out and has extra communicators helping in the chat in case you guys have questions, need links to things. So just know they're going to be monitoring the chat and watching over you. So Tracey and Anne, just say hi quick and say where you guys are at, where you guys are too.
Hi, I am Anne Merrill. I'm living at the moment in Naples, Florida. We'll be here another month, and then we go back to Maine for about 5 months on the coast in Rockland. And I am a soul level animal communicator. I've been doing this for about probably 3 years, a little bit more. And I work here in Naples at the Naples Zoo. And I work in horticulture, and I am so very grateful and lucky to be able to go to work and be in nature and work with the animals and work with the plants. I love my job, so I'm very happy. So I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you.
And Tracey.
Tracey Akitt. I live in Ontario, Canada. I am an animal communicator, obviously, and an animal relationship coach. I love what I do. I have quite a few animals I live with, and I spend time with horses when I'm not with my own animals. I think that's about it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracey. Okay, so what is animal communication? Just super quick. Many of you already know this. Before we do, we want to give a quick shout out to Jody Jacobs. Her name is just Jody at the moment, just a little wave. She is our ambassador and really helps us connect with a variety of sanctuaries and rescues all over the world. And she's here supporting us and just enjoying the show tonight. So thank you, Jody, for coming. So animal communication, just really quickly. Animals communicate telepathically all the time. We just have forgotten how to use our 5 senses in a higher, more ethereal realm. So when you think of those 5 senses, they are using those see, feel, sense, smell, but they're doing it from a higher vibration. And so in that realm, they can send each other photos, they send each other waves of information, emotion, and they are communicating telepathically with each other all the time. It's why you see the dog and the deer are best friends all of a sudden in an Instagram video, because they feel each other, they communicate through their emotions and their connection to each other. They also have the same sense about what's going on in nature, all the stuff that humans have forgotten. So when we went to school, that's what we learned to do, was raise our vibration and lighten it up into that realm of sensing, so that we could communicate and operate at that same vibration as animals. We all do it all the time. We just kind of have forgotten that we do it. I'm sure many of you have had moments where you think, oh my God, Fluffy's really hungry. And you go walk around the corner and he or she's standing at their bowl. Or you know they have to go out and you open the door and they run out and pee immediately. So you're getting those messages from your animal all the time. We just don't realize that we're getting them until we learn to slow down and lighten up. And so that's what we did in school, slow down and lighten up so that we could have some fun with the animals. So Meredith, what do we need tonight from people?
So it's interesting. What we prefer is less information on the front end. All the information that we will need from you is your animal's name, gender, species, and whether they're alive or in spirit. You don't even need to tell us a breed. You don't need to give us any background about their story, their information, whatever. We prefer to have so little information. That way we can be certain that the information that's coming through for us is coming from your animal and that we're not being influenced in any way by any of the things that you've told us. And we'll remind you of that. And if you start telling us too much, we'll say, stop, whoa, hang on. You'll have a chance to give us a little feedback. We're also going to ask you for one question that you would like to ask of your animal. We ask that this will help you kind of rephrase it if we need to, but this is sort of an open-ended question. We're not looking for yes or no answers. We want to give the animals an opportunity to expound upon whatever the information is that they're passing on to us. So we will always ask you, if we call on you, we'll ask if you're open to having a reading. Obviously we're in a space with lots of other people. If you don't want that, you can say no. But if you do want a reading, we'll always ask your permission before we get started. And then we'll set our intention to connect with your animal, get a little information about their personality and about you and about the question that you want to ask.
All right, so we're all ready to roll. Let's get started. Jody and I are going to work together first.
I have one quick, I don't know if you guys said
Yes.
this because I've been checking people in on the side.
Mhm.
We ask cameras on, names, if you can put them in them, if you want to be read, and if you don't want to be read, if your camera's off, it's fine. You won't be picked. I don't know if I missed that. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to pick the first read E as we call you. And I have actually been drawn to Elizabeth Eves since her name popped up. Jody, you're laughing. Have you been drawn to Elizabeth as well?
I write down in my book, and that was one of the names that I wrote down.
Elizabeth, would you like a reading?
Unmute. I would. Yes, please.
Awesome. Okay. So
Okay.
Elizabeth, tell us who are we talking to tonight?
I would like to know a little bit about Jack.
Jack, obviously male.
Well, yes.
Dog?
Dog, and he's living.
Dog. Okay. And what is the question that you have for him?
You know, he's getting older, and I just want to know how he feels and if he's happy, if he's comfortable.
So, Jody, what do you think? We'll ask Jack, what do we need to know about how he's doing right now in his life? That would be helpful for
I think that
Elizabeth to
feels good.
know. Okay.
What, I feel like there's a help in there. What can
Okay.
Elizabeth do to help with
Okay.
that?
Is there anything that he needs from Elizabeth to help make his life good at this stage in his life?
More comfortable.
More comfortable. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So just give us a second to call in Jack.
Is it okay if I start?
Yeah, go
Karen?
for it. Yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry. Right away, Elizabeth, when I connect in with Jack, I get this image of an old man. And he keeps calling me a young whippersnapper. So there's a lot of sass to him. He's very knowledgeable in the sense of the wisdom that he has. But he doesn't let a lot of people show that he has a lot of wisdom. And he keeps calling me this young whippersnapper. And then all of a sudden the image is he's throwing the cane and he's dancing. I don't know. It's just an old man dancing. So there's a lot of life left in him, even though he may look older. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, completely.
Okay, awesome.
And that's so funny, Jody, because when he came in, he said to me, I'm still spry, And he kind of came in like a little bit like chest forward, like one of those older men who still has kind of their physicality around, and that even though they're a little bit older, they're thinner and they can still kind of move easily in life. So he's showing me that he's still spry, and he's pumping out his chest a little bit because he's proud of himself.
So proud.
So proud.
So proud in the sense that like he's almost full of himself, I want to say, is what he's telling me.
And he also is making it clear to me that he keeps an eye on you, Elizabeth. He really keeps his eye on you. He wants to make sure that you're taken care of. He tells me he has a stronger personality sometimes than even you do. Does that make sense to you?
That makes a lot of sense.
He feels like he's kind of in the lead between the two of you. Like his personality is in the forefront of the two of you. But he also makes me feel like that's his way of making sure that you're okay. By keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, that's very much him.
Yeah. So with that, Karen, I'm getting the exact same thing. But he's singing like that one foot in front of the other. And there's these an old couple, and they like have to outdo each other. So they're like, no, I'm going to put my foot first. No, I'm going to put my foot first. No, I'm going to put my foot. So one foot in front of the other. And this is also another reminder for you of putting one foot in front of the other. Don't take this big leap, but just put one foot in front of the other. And as Karen's saying, you're doing it together in this symbiotic kind of way. But there's a little, because he's showing me like the headbutt like this. There's a little bit of like, well, I'm going to push. No, I'm going to push. I'm going to push. But there's this beautiful and comic relief. Is that what you're doing? He's making me laugh because he's dancing and again, swinging the cane. I'm going to put one foot in front of and he's very charismatic in that way. But he's showing me the like butting heads. Does that make sense? Like,
no,
you do something and then he does it.
Got a lot of pass, yeah.
Yeah. So when I ask him, is there anything that Mom Elizabeth needs to know that would be helpful for you right now in your life? He's really funny. He says, steak. Just FYI. And you're laughing, so you must know why he's saying that. But he's like, steak. I would like more steak.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he just got chicken for dinner.
So he's
when I
very funny.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Karen.
No, he's just being very funny about it. But
he's super funny. His energy just makes me laugh and sit back and watch him. So Elizabeth, when I check in with him about what can you do now, again, he's kind of putting it back on you about taking just one step at a time, just one step. Don't be that giant leap and then, oh my gosh, one step, complete it, and then another step. You really have a tendency from Jack's perspective to do more than you need to, is what he's saying. You do more than you need to. Just do one step, complete that, then do another one. Because you have a tendency to go way beyond what you need to. And then by the end, you're exhausted and you're tired and you're worried and stressed and all of this. So he's like, slow down, one step in front of the other, slow it down. Because he's got you in the sense he's saying that because he's right beside you. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. And he's saying, well, if you want something to do, because he knows you want something to do. Mm-hmm. So he's like, if you want something to do, you could rub a little salve into my hind knees.
Okay.
Just to keep them mobile. He's not telling me there's anything much wrong with them, but just to keep them loose. There's like there's like a a doggy salve. I don't know if there's like a little CBD in it, but there's just something about massaging some of that into his knee joints in the back that would, one, make you feel like you're doing something good for him, but also he wouldn't mind it. So I hope that helps and
Oh, that's
answers some of
great.
your questions.
Thank you so
I
much.
do want to add just one more thing. Physicality speaking, I feel very tense. So this goes along with what Karen does. So I did a body scan of Jack. And as Karen said, I feel very tight. I don't want to say arthritic, but very, And this is why he's presenting in the way of like, no, I feel fine. Because he doesn't let a lot of people see that. So I agree with Karen, but there's also this like tenseness I'm physically feeling in my body. So I
Okay.
just wanted to add that.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing Jack with us. He's fabulous.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Jack was awesome. I love him.
You're a good girl.
I'm just gonna disconnect from Jack. So as I'm disconnecting from Jack, he's kind of like dancing out, like swinging the cane. So, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So Meredith and I are up next. And another person I had wrote on my list is Jenny. Where are you now, Jenny?
Hi.
Hi, Jenny. Are you okay if we connect with your animal this evening?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so as everyone has said before, I think it was Meredith or Karen. I don't remember. Maybe it was Karen or Meredith, one of them. What's the animal's name that you would like to connect in with?
Miley.
Miley?
Yes.
And what kind of animal is Miley?
She's a cat.
Female?
Yes.
Cat. And is she alive or crossed over?
She's alive.
She's alive. Okay. Did you get that, Mare?
Is it Miley like Miley Cyrus?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
She's Miley Gray.
Okay. And what's the question, Jenny, you wanted us to ask Miley?
I have quite a few, but I just kind of want to make sure that she's okay. She's not as affectionate as I would love her to be. So I want to make sure all her needs are met, and like if it's just that she needs personal space like I do, or if there's something I could do better for her. Pretty much I want to make sure she's happy, just like everybody else, you know?
Okay. Mare, what do you think? What are you feeling?
Let's just ask Miley what she needs us to know about your relationship, Jenny.
Okay.
I mean, that's a pretty broad question, but it
Mm-hmm.
covers all the different aspects of, are they okay is probably the most common question we get.
Right.
And we can really delve a lot deeper into that if we open it up to, let's talk about your relationship. Does that feel okay to you, Jody?
Yeah, I like that.
That feels really, really good. All right, Jenny, just give us a moment and we're going to connect in with Miley.
And Jody, I'll jump right in if that's okay with you.
Go right ahead.
Is Miley Cyrus the one that did that weird, like showed up on, okay, let me just back up and say, whenever I'm working with an animal, something about the name triggers something about their personality that they want to show me. And they bring it in ways that I've asked, let me receive it in a way I can understand, deliver to you, and you can receive. So here's where I get weird. Is Miley Cyrus the one that got on stage in like that teddy bear costume at some point?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't really.
Yeah, I think she's an extremely talented singer, but I don't necessarily follow her. But something about that teddy bear was all about the show and the demonstration, and something in my interpretation of it of being weird for the sake of being weird. And weird is a strong word. For calling attention to something.
Okay.
Calling attention to something which then could be taken to use for something good, right? But first I've got to get your attention. It feels to me that that she's showing you some sort of behavior that makes you somewhat uncomfortable, but she's trying to call your attention to it. You're saying that she's not that affectionate, but I feel like there's something else behind that. And we'll come back around to that question. But something that she does that seems unusual is trying to make you stop in a moment and pay attention. How does that feel to you when I say that?
It resonates.
Okay.
So when I connected with Miley, it's a little different, but it's along the line of unusual. So when she didn't come forthright, so I had to kind of, if you would imagine, open palms, I'm kneeling down. She gave me this feeling of she was very skeptical of who I am. And then she showed me an image of like Picasso. So very weird, like different shape. It was a cat, but very weird, kind of different shapes, very well kind of put together is the word that she's using. She's very well put together, but there's like all of these different pieces and they seem to kind of fit. And that's what makes her unique, is all of these different pieces. Does that make sense? So there's like, she can be nice, she can be mean, but it all makes up of who she is in this unique kind of no hold barred, is what she's saying, like no holds barred attitude, like love me for me. And to follow up with Meredith says, there is something about this that she's trying to get your attention to. But she's using the word unique over and over again. Like Picasso was kind of like weird, but he was unique and he has these beautiful pieces. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And something that you said at the beginning was the day that I first met her, that I had her in my apartment, she kind of hid and I had to be like, it's okay, I'm right here. And she ended up like walking up to me and rubbing up on me. And I didn't even touch her. I was just like, it's okay now, like you're home. So I love that you said that.
Awesome. I'm glad that resonated. Yeah. Mare?
I'm going to jump on the Picasso thing because that sums up so much. Now let me just go ahead and let everybody know, when I say weird, that's not a bad thing. That's very much a compliment. But I like how Jody pulled in the word unique.
I agree.
Picasso was definitely unique. His artwork was definitely unique. And there's a little bit of shock value is something that keeps coming through. There's a little bit of really being different and saying, I'm good with being different, but I want you to notice. And it feels to me like there's some sort of behavior that she displays that's not necessarily cat-like behavior. Maybe you see her do something and go, oh, she thinks she's a dog, or she thinks she's a bird, or there's something that's different than what you would expect a cat to do that is part of this calling attention to. I'm going to sit with that for a second, Jody.
Yeah. Again, she's pulling me back to the round of the word unique. But there's also this feeling of confidence, like she likes to take people's breath away. If you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh. So whether it's a negative or a behavior or anything, she enjoys that. It's almost like she craves that moment when she can take someone's breath away, because that says, boom, I got you. And now she's coming a little bit closer, and I don't know. So she's showing me an image of Pat Benatar. So sometimes that happens to where, as Meredith was saying in the beginning, I got it. So we're thinking of like Pat Benatar, musician, things like that, badass, but she was also very intelligent, and very unique in her style of music. Does that make sense? I don't know if you're too young to know Pat Benatar, but
I just Googled her. I'm too young. Yes, confirmed.
So anyways, again, as Meredith was saying, the animals are going to relay information to the receiver the best way that we can relay it to you. So I'm glad that you Googled that. But the bigger picture is it's about her personality. We think of this badass, we think of this, musician, but she was really intelligent, the way that she crafted her craft. And I feel that this is what Miley is doing. She's like crafting her craft. And I do want to agree with Meredith. There's something about either her quirkiness, no, she likes the word unique. Okay, uniqueness, strutting, something about strutting her stuff. Like she walks funny. She like walks like a man. I don't know what that is about, but something about like the walking or a behavior that, as Meredith said, but she's kind of quote playing with me. Again, she's very intelligent in the sense that she's only going to give me what she thinks I need to know. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that is exactly where she's taking me with your question about the affection. She's
Yeah.
only going to give you what she wants you to give. It's not that she's not affectionate, but it's going to be on her terms. It feels like you would like for her to be a little bit snugglier than she is, but she's mirroring something about you in a way, saying, well, you're not super snuggly unless you are completely in your comfort zone. And then when you decide it's time to stop snuggling, it's time to stop snuggling. She's like, why should I be any different? So I'm a cat, but you're a person, and we're having some parallel experiences here. I will love you on my terms with my snuggles when I'm ready. But she feels completely comfortable. She doesn't feel like there's any conflict here. She's just like, this is who I am, and this is what you get from me.
Perfect.
And to add to what Meredith said, there's a certain, I don't know if you stroke her, but there's like a certain stroke that she really enjoys, but she'll only enjoy it to a certain point. So you'll be like, oh my God, I'm patting her. Oh, I want more. And then she'll be like, no, I'm done. So this stroke coming from her is a way of her to release some of this tightness that she's mirroring from you in a sense. But enough is enough. Okay, I've released it. I'm good. I can move on. Does that make sense? Like there's something about the stroke that you do, but you're wanting more of it, but she's literally will look at you and be like, I'm done, and we'll walk away. Make sense?
It does, yep.
So my final contribution to that point is a little bit of a lesson for you in paying attention to her unspoken language, to her, okay, you stroked me twice and that was great for tonight. Once is all I'm taking tomorrow night, and maybe 3 times another night. But be aware, pay attention, and don't overlook the very obvious, subtle, in the way cats do, signals that I'm giving you. Does
Thank
that
you
make
so
sense to you,
much.
Jenny?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Matt, answer your question, Jenny.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny, for letting us connect in with her. She's really an amazing soul. And I'm glad that you looked up Pat Benatar. I feel super old right now, but that's okay.
Yeah, you definitely described her. She is very unique, but in the best way. I love her. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jenny.
So that wraps up with Jenny. I just want to remind everybody that you've got just a few more minutes to purchase raffle tickets if you're interested in buying some more and tossing your name into that wheel of names. After this next reading that I'm going to do with Julie, then we'll close down the raffle tickets so that we have time to do all the behind the scenes stuff to get you into the system. And Tracey and Ann will drop that link into the chat. I saw that you did it a moment ago, but they may drop it in one more time.
I can drop it in one more time.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So Julie, you ready to do a little reading here?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let me see who I've got my eye on.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to massacre your name. Is it Lamia? Are you interested in having a reading? Okay. I'm going to drag you up here to the top of my screen. If you can unmute yourself. I'm going to put you between me and Julie. And now say your name for me, please, so I don't mess it up again.
Lamia.
Lamia. So I said it correctly.
You did.
Awesome. Wonderful. So you've seen how this goes, Lamia. Who would you like for us to connect with? Give us the name of your animal.
My dog.
Your dog? And what's your dog's name?
Beau. Beau.
Beau. It is Beau, male or female?
Mel.
And is he alive or in spirit?
He's alive.
He's alive. And what question would you like to ask of Beau?
Well, he's since I brought him the last 3 years, he's kind of still timid and doesn't like to, he sleeps,
Don't tell us
he's
too much. Don't tell us too
okay.
much.
Okay.
So, what does he need us to know about why he's being a little bit timid? You can expand on that just a little bit, but not too much backstory, please.
Yeah, he's very much independent, and also he doesn't like a lot of walking. He's kind of afraid of doing long walk.
So let's ask him, Julie, what do you think? What would he like us to know about? It's interesting, independent or timid, which
I
one's
know.
which?
Yeah, so that was my question. Like, do you want to know more about his timidity or his independence? What would help you more?
Well, about his timidity, shyness.
Yeah. So, and we could use the walks, Mayor, I think. What do we need to know about taking walks, maybe? Because the timid part, I hate asking a question with the timid in it, right? Because he may think of himself differently.
Yeah. And I'm getting actually, Julie, that the two are opposite sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And that it's something to do with the human interpretation of it. So
Yeah.
why don't we just open it up and say, what would he like us to know about how his personality is exhibited in his behavior?
Yeah.
And what does he need Lamia to know about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
So, what's your question again?
We're just going to ask him about his personality and what it is about the behaviors he's exhibiting that have, that he wants us to know about. And I'll jump right in with that. And I think the question will sort of flesh itself out a little bit more. He's saying to me that there's a bit of like the two sides of the same coin that I mentioned. There's independence, there's timidity, that these are labels, that these are human, perceptions of something that he's exhibiting, that he feels that there may be a little bit of a, not necessarily misunderstanding, but not a full understanding, a partial understanding of what it is he's trying to display. That, what may come across as timid, or, I'm thinking, I'm wrapping this into sort of human behaviors. When somebody stays at home a lot and doesn't want to go out, and you're like, oh, that person's a hermit, or they're shy, or they're an introvert. But I'm feeling a sense of independence that is comfortable with being home alone, or with people, or maybe going for a walk, but not with that many people around, because he just feels like he doesn't have that much patience for some of the nonsense that other people and other animals might show up for. Does that make sense? Julie, you look like you're kind of getting a similar.
I am, and
response.
it's so interesting. So, Lamia, when you first said, the dog's name, I immediately heard, I'm a wild and crazy guy, like Steve Martin. And then he began to describe, Bode began to show me different aspects of Steve Martin, the human being. And as Meredith was talking, I'm like, yep, because Steve Martin is incredibly intelligent. He's very independent. He does his own thing. He always has. And this is Bo talking. This is not me talking. And he's like, and he's done his own thing. He always has. And there is a shyness to him. He's not one to really go after the spotlight. And that's what Bo says. He's like, I'm one wild and crazy guy. I'm like Steve Martin. I'm exactly like Steve Martin. So Meredith, everything you were saying, I'm like, Bo's like, yeah, like, and he's showing me scenes from different aspects of Steve Martin's career that matches up with what you were saying, Mayor. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Well, and sometimes some of the funniest people, the class clown, the comedians that we've all seen, are super smart, super intelligent, and super sensitive. And a lot of the comedic brilliance that we as the world had the privilege of seeing was not the depth of the person. That's like the class clown, sort of showing out for the people and then going home and needing the quiet time and the recharge and the so he feels like Bo feels like to me he's got a very entertaining, funny side. He feels a little clumsy to me. And enjoys a bit of self-deprecating humor, making fun of himself for tripping over something or getting so excited that he runs smack into the wall. But that at the end of the day, he really, I'm not going to say introverted, but almost empathic. Like he needs to go home and sit quietly and recharge his own batteries. So why add additional stress of multiple walks a day or additional responsibilities when what he really needs is just to rest his spirit, not his body necessarily, his spirit, his mind, his soul. His brain feels like it's going 100 miles an hour all the time. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
And with all of that, I'm also hearing from Bo, aka Steve Martin, that there's a soul level lesson in that for you as well. He's modeling some behavior in an effort to have you recharge. I'm hearing him say recharge at home and like take some of those plates that are spinning on sticks. Let's let them fall. I'm hearing him say he really likes to just hang out with you because the two of you have, what I hear him say is an intellectual exchange. And I hear him say you see eye to eye, like he's doing this, he's showing me this. And so he's asking, can we just like, he's actually doesn't, like what Meredith was saying, he doesn't really care for a whole lot of people. He'd rather like, I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I do not need to do that again. Let's just hang out, Netflix and chill. And he's telling me there's a really good Steve Martin documentary on Apple TV Plus right now. So I know that too. He's telling me yes, he's very much obsessed with Steve Martin right now. If he could wear a white suit and a black tie, and maybe he is black and white, I don't know. But if he could, I'm hearing him say he would look fantastic in it. That's what I'm hearing him say.
Well, I'm getting married in September. Oh, that's him scratching. So he's gonna definitely have a tuxedo, black and white. He's actually scratching the door to want to get in.
Let me in.
Hi, everybody. I want to say hi. I want to say hi.
Here
we go. He's like, I heard, that, you know, they've been talking about me. Okay, yes, they are.
Yeah.
You and he have a special communication that has no words. And I'm seeing like the Vulcan mind meld. So you could both stand to take some time to sit quietly and just exchange that energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good for both of you.
Yes. And he's like pushing, he's trying to tell me something. I think he's trying to tell me I need a treat right now.
You do too then. Yes, both of you need a treat right now.
So I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
It does. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So I do believe, Julie Burke, that leads us to the time where the raffle tickets then are their time to buy them is over, correct? I believe so. Okay. So raffle tickets are closed. There was a link in there. So if you didn't get
Sorry,
them.
I was muted.
That's-
Yes. And I got one purchase.
Okay, great.
And so just as long as no one else that I missed anybody else, but I don't see any other that have come in.
Okay.
I think we're good there. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Okay. Karen and I are going to read now. You ready, Karen?
I'm ready.
Okay. So Jacqueline. I hope I said your name right. Are you ready? Are you interested in a reading?
I mean, Jacqueline Winecloth?
Yeah. And she just froze,
Jackie?
it looks like.
Ah,
There she goes. Nope. She's there. She just has to unmute.
Okay, sorry.
Hello. Yeah. Are you
Having some
interested?
technical? Sure.
Okay. What's the name of your animal?
Oh God. I should have thought of this first.
There,
Let's go with Cyrus.
Cyrus?
Yes.
Oh, like Miley and now Cyrus. Okay. Huh, funny how that works. Is it Cyrus?
Yes.
Okay. Male?
Yes.
Species? Is he a dog or a cat or
He's a dog.
dog? And is Cyrus alive?
No.
Okay, in spirit. All right. Okay. What's your question?
God, I should have had this prepared. I really didn't think you guys were going to call on me. I guess just a question. I guess most rescue people wonder: am I making him proud?
Okay. So if we were to phrase it, how do you feel about how mom is doing right now?
Yeah.
Will that help?
Say that. Yeah.
Karen, you think that sounds good?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Well, I mean, you didn't even get the question out. I could have told you you're going to ask that question, actually, Jackie and Cyrus. He's quite a presence for you. And he makes me feel like you do a lot in his name. In your heart, you're honoring him with what you do.
Sure.
And he is very proud, actually. But he the thing that he says is you have a lot of courage in his name. So yeah, and boy, can I feel that in your heart. I get the feeling from him that he absolutely was a soul dog for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. He's a very strong energy still for you. Like, there are times where he makes me feel like you think, what would Cyrus want me to do right now? In your head, does that make sense to you? Yeah.
Yep.
He's
Talk to him often.
strong. He's very strong.
Yeah, that's
Julie,
for sure.
yeah. Julie, what are you getting?
Yeah, something really similar. I was when you first asked the question, he was like, well, of course, look at all the things you're doing. I mean, I just boom, like right here on the right hand side, it just came in. And then as Karen was talking too, I heard him say it's as if you have Cyrus glasses, that you see the world through Cyrus glasses. So it's like anything, it's this mantra too, I'm hearing him say of if not me, then whom, and if not now, when, but that has a Cyrus lens to it. So if this wouldn't benefit someone like Cyrus or in Cyrus's name, then is this something that I do or do not do? So that's what I'm also hearing him say. But he's like, absolutely. Am I proud of you? Oh my goodness. I couldn't be more proud of you. And I also hear him say too, that what I'm hearing him say is there's some really kind of neat things that are coming for you on the horizon, some decisions too, that could be what I'm hearing him say are weighing on your heart. And I can feel kind of a little heaviness around your heart about which direction do we go? And I hear him say, you can't make a wrong decision. You have so many really cool opportunities. You really can't make a wrong decision. And you've got my backing. And he's like, he's behind your back. He's like, you've got my backing all the way.
Awesome.
And Jackie, he actually, I have this knowing from him that he was not an easy guy. I'm going to full disclosure, everybody. I know who Jackie is, but I don't know who Cyrus is.
No.
Okay. Because we've not talked about Cyrus, but
No,
he's making me feel like he was not an easy guy to handle. And he's playing a song for you. It's a very sappy old song. It might be before your time, but there's a song, Don't Give Up on Me, Baby. We've still got one more time. Like something, I don't know the exact, I'm going to look it up for you. It's called Don't Give Up on Me, Baby.
It's Starsky and Hutch guy.
Oh, is that who it is?
Oh,
see, it totally is
at the
sappy.
45, yeah.
Do you know who?
We got no internet.
My phone got on.
We've still got one more time, one more try.
Yeah, we still got one more try. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And maybe we could mute whoever that is, please.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, and if we find it, we'll put it. One of us will put it in the chat for you here, so people can see that song. because it's a really cool song. And it's a heart to heart song. And he's very, very grateful that you didn't give up on him, is what he actually wants to say right now. So I hope that makes sense to you too. Yeah, he's very awesome. What else are you getting, Julie?
I was just gonna ask the tech team if they could please unmute Jackie, because somehow they muted her with all the, I think they're going for someone else. He was actually also, in addition to that song, he was singing, and I don't know why, Elvira. I don't know, it was like, and he was more because of the funny aspect. I don't know if you remember this song. It was from the Rocky Mountain something boys, maybe. No, Oak Ridge Boys. And it's Elvira, boom, checka boom, or something. I don't know. I'll put that in the chat too. But it was really about my heart's on fire. Elvira is how it goes. And that's what he was saying to you too. Is yes, even though he may have been a little difficult, I hear him say, my heart was always in the right place and my heart was always with you, and still is.
Good
And he
to
just
know.
feels like, I hear him say, like, I just really tried to be a good boy. Sometimes it was just really hard, but I really tried. And it particularly, like, he just, even if he kind of looked away, he always would come and look right back at you. And you, where I hear him say, were his guiding light.
Yeah.
And you changed his world. And he's so grateful, is what I'm also hearing him say.
Yeah, and the last thing he wants to say is, you saved him from being broken. And you it's
That
so
makes
funny,
sense.
right? So he's saying you unbroken him. It's funny. It's not the right language, but he's saying I was
Right.
unbroken by Jackie. And which means his personality started to come out because of you. And his temperament, you understood. His moments of his emotional moments, you actually understood, and he appreciated how you unbroken him.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any last thing, Julie, that you're picking up that you might want to share with Jackie?
Yeah, the last thing I'll say, the last thing I'll say from Cyrus is, Cyrus says that you actually, you can feel him, especially when you go to make a decision. It's like there's a weighing aspect and you know which side to go through, but also you can feel in the belly, because it feels like he either laid on your belly or pawed at your belly or something when he was alive. But he is saying, when you have to make a decision and you have your Cyrus, glasses on to see the world through there, you can feel in your belly if it's the right decision or not the right decision.
Can I just speak
Yeah.
on that real quick? So two things. He actually died on my belly. And I have a tattoo on my stomach of him. Well, it's on my ribs, but yeah.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
weird that you said. Yeah, so it's weird that you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and if you can, even put your hand on the tattoo he's saying, and is this right? And you'll feel even in your hand tingle then too.
I oddly do that regularly. I do that
Wonderful.
regularly.
Yeah.
And I wear his ashes every day. So
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. That's weird that you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I've got goosebumps too, Jenny.
Me too. Oh my God, that's incredible, because he says he is guiding you, and you do ask, like, what would Cyrus do? So he's definitely helping you with the difficult ones, he says.
Well, thank God somebody has to.
Yep. Wow, he's incredible soul. He really is a strong soul. He agreed. He wants you to know his soul agreed to come into Cyrus, knowing that you would help him, so that he could then help you.
Yeah, he was in bad shape when I got him.
Yeah.
He was only 4 weeks old. He actually almost died as a baby. So yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
He's got you like you had him, he says.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing him with us and letting us connect with you. This is really beautiful. We'll put our songs in the chat for you.
I think Julie has.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
Julie.
you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Jackie. Wow. Okay. So,
So super quick, I had the Oak
yes.
Ridge Boys greatest hits on vinyl, and I had a little dance that I choreographed, and the giddy up a hoom papa is what you're thinking of, Julie. A hoom papa, mau mau. I don't know, but his heart's on fire for Elvira. I love that. I was singing along over here.
Well, that's a perfect segue, Meredith, because you're up next with me. So who shall we select? Goodness. Oh, I'm being drawn to Megan Coombs. Megan, would you like a reading? You're shaking your head, Mary. Are you being drawn to Megan as well?
Yep, Megan was my next choice.
Oh, hey guys.
Giddy up a hoom
Hi.
papa.
All right, Megan, thank you for agreeing to do this. And
Yeah, thank you.
who are we talking to?
Like Jackie, I didn't think you would pick me, but Pebbles.
Okay. And tell us male, dog,
female, in spirit.
spirit. Okay. And what is your question for Pebbles?
Just kind of like a general, is she doing okay? She's it was a recent passing.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's just give Pebbles a minute to come in.
And if she's with anyone up there.
Okay. So as Pebbles comes in for me, she actually comes in looking like this beautiful orb of light, and there are wings on it. And she says, I earned these wings. And there definitely is a gentle nature to her and spirit that is really heart touching, heartwarming about her. And she knows that this was a hard loss for you. Her leaving was a hard loss for you. With her gentle nature. Meredith, how is she coming in for you?
Very gentle, but also with a fierceness underneath. She is, what is the Shakespeare quote? Though she be but little, she is fierce. I don't know if she was actually small. And I'm getting, as I mentioned before, there's always a link to the name that brings in something for me. And it's taken me straight to the Flintstones, which is why I'm kind of giggling a little bit. But I'm going to, Pebbles was so cute and so sweet. And then here's Bam, Bam, Bam. You remember Bam, Bam? Anybody here old enough to remember Bam, Bam? That there was something about
that was her brother.
Her power.
And that was her brother?
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember exactly what the Flintstones relationship was.
Pebbles had a brother whose name was Bam Bam, like our other dog.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm getting Pebbles and Bam Bam.
So the Flintstones are correct. Yes.
Okay. Fabulous. There's an aspect of the Flintstones though that's also showing up for me about, it's almost like the Beverly Hillbillies, which is, the real life version of the Flintstones. Not misfits, people who are in a place that you don't expect them to be. The Beverly Hillbillies in the middle of Beverly Hills, the Flintstones with Betty Rubble with her pearl necklace, Fred driving his car with his feet in this civilized setup, this civilized sort of like Ozzie and Harriet setup, but they're cave people, something about being in a place where they shouldn't, by anyone else's definitions, necessarily belong. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But there's a power behind Pebbles and the Bam, Bam, Bam. There's an impact of something that is attention giving, attention getting, calling your attention to something. But also this little fish out of water. That's the thing I'm looking for. It's a literary, analysis, fish out of water, something about being somewhere unexpected.
And while you were talking about, she was bringing me to like her, I don't know if this was her passing or maybe something going on in her body, but I got a real interesting feeling in my chest and I started breathing like more shallower, whatever.
That's actually how she passed, is she couldn't breathe all
Okay.
day. And so we had to say goodbye because she had congestive heart failure.
Okay.
And
Because
her
I'm feeling
breathing,
it in here. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
She wants you to know.
Really crazy.
She wants to confirm that by showing me this. I'm asking her, why is this important to share with you? Because she says you didn't make a mistake.
Okay, good to know.
She knows that that's a question for you. And no, you didn't make a mistake because you allowed her to pass. I just have to say this, you allowed her to pass without suffocating, which she would not have wanted for her or you.
No.
So you saved her from passing in a very uncomfortable way. And she's very grateful for the gentle elegance of her passing, because that's her angelicness. Like, she was a gentle soul, and you honored her being a gentle soul with even a more gentle passing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She's
I
very
heard the
grateful for
words. Sorry, I heard the words with dignity. And as Karen was talking, I felt like I was sitting up straighter and my neck was getting longer, and I almost became a statue of, an Egyptian cat, like very regal, very royal. And I heard the words with dignity. And I'm seeing a visual of like my crown chakra open up. I'm feeling a connection to the divine, if you will, as I'm sitting up straighter. So I hear with dignity and almost like royalty that this is a position of stature. And I feel like she's showing me that's how she feels now. This is a position of stature. And she's very proud of the opportunity to be dignified. And Karen, you said a word. It wasn't dignified. It was elegant. It was elegant.
I think it was like Ellen, graceful too.
Yeah.
And so when I ask her, like, who are you? Because really what you want to know, Megan, Mama Megan wants to know is who are you with, or who was there for you? And you have to make sense of this, but I'm seeing an older woman's hand with a ring on it, like a really nice ring on her finger. Like an older woman, like, when the knuckles get kind of old, but there's a ring on her finger, and there are hands like holding her, like that took her from, like, was right there when she left the body. There were I'm seeing these older woman hands with the ring, like just lifting her, like with gentleness out of her body for you. I feel like it's a family member of yours. It feels grandmother-ish, but I can't say it's grandmother or great aunt or but it's a female like that really had also a very gentle nature.
That'd be my grandma. Yeah.
Okay. So she said she took me for you.
And I have a picture of her holding Pebbles when she was a baby like this.
Oh my gosh. So she was there for her.
Yeah, Megan, did you say Bam Bam was also in spirit, or is he still with you?
Yes, he is. Okay, no, he's in spirit as well.
I go straight to the big brother, the Bam Bam Bam, the sibling, love you but gonna wear each other out all the time kind of relationship. My sister hit my brother in the face with a shovel, but they loved each other very much. So I'm seeing the Bam Bam Bam, and the actual cartoon character of Bam Bam. You know how when he'd slam his club down, he'd jump up in the air, and super excitement of that sort of welcoming relationship. So it feels like there are two sides here. You've got gentle grandmother, and then you've got kid brother just whacking the hell out of her with these clubs,
That's about right. Yep.
Anything
that's
else there,
very beautiful.
Karen?
No, I think that's that she just wants to reassure you that she's safe
Okay.
and sending you a lot of love. She and your grandmother are now together sending you love and watching over you.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing about the angel wings you mentioned.
Yes.
I'm actually having their ashes made into an art piece of angel wings. So
Wow. Wow, she
That's
did a good
beautiful.
job of hitting on all your
Mhm.
points today.
Yeah, she did a lot of validating. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
Thank
first
you
of all,
very
I'm
much.
so sorry for your loss. She's such a beautiful soul.
Thanks. She really was.
Yeah. And we're just
And
sending
still
you some
is.
extra love.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Megan. Take a breath. And we're going to hand this off to Jody and Julie.
Hello again.
Wow.
Again, Megan, I'm so sorry for your loss. Julie, what's
Yeah.
up, girl? What do you want to do?
Let's do this.
Is there anybody that you're being guided to?
Me, let me
I just
see.
want to see if it's the same person I'm being guided to, because that would be really kind of cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay, no, now it's a quiz. Actually, I've been drawn to Amy. Is that who you were thinking?
She's on my list.
Amy, are you up for a reading? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Amy,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Is it okay if we connect in?
Yes, please. He's been waiting
Okay.
for you.
Okay, so let's just start. What's the animal's name?
His name's Jackson, but I refer to him as Jax. It's a dog. And like I said, he keeps staring at me like, hey, what's going on?
So I'm gonna guess that he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Or else she should join our ranks, one of the two.
I know, right? Right? That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Amy, do you have a question for Jax?
I would love to know a little bit more about his anxiety.
Okay.
Is there specific situations in which you find me, because the anxiety, we don't like to come at them with the labeling what it is.
Yeah. So I think I've had Romeo for about 2 years now. So it seems like it's coming a little bit more when I adopted him. And then of course he's a little bit older. He's about 16, not 100% sure. But if I'm not within eyesight of him, I call it a sound off. He just barks until I come find him and let him know I'm over here, bud,
So would it make more sense if we asked him, how does he feel when mom's not nearby?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, Jody? Because I hate to talk about the anxiousness, and that way he can describe it.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I like that about how is he feeling when there's already things coming in with the question. So Amy, just give us a moment and we'll connect with Jax. So I don't want to skip to the question because he is kind of taking me to the question, but we're going to
for me.
Right? So I'm just trying to get hold on. So immediately, Amy, he's showing me like the Jax, which he does prefer to be called Jax because it's, in his term, much more trendy. And he's very much about being like, don't call me Jackson. It's kind of more like, got it. When you're in trouble and your mom yells your full name, he doesn't like that. It's more of like, just call me Jax. Just call me Jax. Got it. So for 2 images, the first image is an actual Jax. And again, I'm dating myself. Remember you play the ball with the Jax and you roll the Jax and it's like a spiky thing, but it's not spiked, it's rounded. So it's very soft. He just went, because I'm multifaceted like a Jax. He's kind of all over the place, but in a very fun, charismatic way. But there's a sensitive side to him. hence the jack with the rounded tip. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He just said, you never know how I'm going to land. Like when you roll the jacks, you never know how they're going to land. So there's, again, this multifaceted piece of him. Okay. Don't call him Jackson because he feels like he's going to get in trouble. Call him Jax because he's making that to me very clear, like two totally different things. He's making me feel like whoever had him before you, there was something with like like Jackson, like kind of, and that's kind of where he's going with that. I don't know if you knew what his name was before or anything about him, but it was something about, the pronunciation of the long, like Jackson, like that, that kind of makes him a little uncomfortable. Just so you know, that's why if you can call him Jax is very trendy. It's very fun. He kind of prefers that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Julie, what do you got?
Yeah, so when you said he was going right to the question, I know you said he was sitting there staring at you, and he's just sitting here with me and with his arms across his chest, just staring at me and going, this is the answer to the question. There's an intensity and a directness and what I'm hearing, like a frankness, like, okay, let's get this show on the road, because he just does not have, he's like, ticky-tock, I do not have the time. We're going to answer this question. Okay. Does that make sense, even as from a personality perspective?
Yeah, he's very timely mannered. Everything is very on time.
Yes.
I'm not home. He's not happy.
Okay. Yes. All right. So, and I'm like, okay, well then tell us more about why, what is the answer to the question about how do you feel when mom is not nearby? And there's a couple of things I'm hearing from him. First of all, there is something about his senses, whether it's hearing and seeing, I'm doing it backwards, or one or the other, but they're not quite what they used to be, as well as his nose. And so what I'm hearing him say is, you are his guiding light. You are his focal point. And so for him to not, what I'm hearing him say is to not be able to pick up like radar where you are as he used to be sharper. It's what I'm hearing him say, it's disconcerting. And I actually feel in my body, particularly like my solar plexus and even into my belly, I feel a little, I do feel, I guess I'll call it anxiousness. I feel tense. I feel like there's a little wobbliness in there. So there is a physical reason as well. And at the same time, there's a little soul lesson in that he too, much like the other woman that I spoke with this evening, that he's wanting you to be able to spend a little bit more downtime with him and just with him. There's a lot going on, I hear him say, in your life. And he's like, you and I just need to come back and center and ground together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to go along with what Julie was talking about, I get an image of a lighthouse. And there's lots of clouds, or it's so foggy, but you know that the lighthouse is there because you can see the light. And he's like, you are his light. You are the beacon among the cloudiness. The physicality, I do feel like there's a film kind of, over my eyes, hence, but I know that you're there. Does that make sense? Like, I know that the lighthouse is there. I know I can see the light. She is my light. You are his light. And I do agree with Julie, but this is more of the stability of, again, a lighthouse. When we think of a lighthouse is the beacon. We can see it. We know where it is. It's stable. It's not going to get blown down in the wind, kind of thing. That is how he feels about you, that slowing down and just being one with him, creating that stability within you too. And I do agree, Julie, lots of stuff kind of storms are brewing. He says storms are brewing. Hence maybe that's why he's showing me the lighthouse, but you are his beacon of light. Does that make sense?
It does.
So
yeah.
Coming back to center, sitting with him and just, weathering the storm. Got it. And there's a sense of calmness too that comes over the both of you. Because now they're like the ocean. I don't know what it is with all these sea references for you. Do you live near the ocean? I don't know, but there's a lighthouse, there's a beacon, there's this. There's a calmness when you are together, and as Julie said, when you've come back. And a lot of that solar plexus and root I don't know if chakra is very, but a lot of the solar plexus and root coming back, settling together. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, he settles out when I'm home for sure. Yeah. And we do have I love being alone with him, but I adopted another dog for him. And then I feel like that created more anxiety for him.
I'm hearing him say in response to that is, what I'm hearing you say is like, it's more, there's something about you worrying a little bit more and having more, you yourself having more to do. And so he's trying to like, try and get in front of you to do like what Jody was saying, like the grounding and the calming down.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing him say is he's to some degree feels fine outside of losing some of his senses. It's more of like, mom, like when he's showing you what you think is anxious, he actually wants you to just kind of take a look at how you're feeling too, particularly in your belly, he's showing me. And if it's feeling like kind of swirly or tense, that's the time to do the practice that he was sharing with Jody. So it's really, there's a soul lesson in there for you too.
Oh yeah, he's my, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, he's my boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to ask the question about the second dog, he's pulling me like, she got the dog because she thought I wanted another dog kind of thing. Like she got the dog because I wanted, and he was like, I was just fine with the two of us, but there was something about you, and to agree with Julie, there's the soul lesson about either you feeling guilty that he's getting older and you wanted another dog to keep him company or something like that. But you got the dog for you, and you created more of this, again, with the ocean, chaos in the seas is what he's saying. And he would have been fine, just a little tiny rowboat is what he said. Just tiny little rowboat, just two of you. Got it. But again, okay. He's saying use this information to kind of loop the three of you in. You have the two dogs and you.
Yeah.
Loop the three of you in. And again, come back to center, the three of you, because he's telling me that he can show this other dog a lot of his wisdom about you, which is kind of weird. Like he's trying to welcome this other dog, but this other dog has kind of got his own agenda, which is fine. But he's trying to pull this other dog to say, hey, look, I want to teach you about mom. So let's come together and we can kind of kumbaya. Okay, got it. Sitting in a circle, like singing kumbaya, is what he just said. I don't know if you do that, but that's okay. Does that make sense though? So coming back to center, looping in that other dog, and just being. You don't have to do anything other than just sit and stare at each other all day. That's what he just did to me. So again, being centered, you are his light. He keeps saying that you are his light. So come back and be the center between these two. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I hear him say you're fabulous, mom, just as you are.
Yeah.
And he calls you mom. Yeah.
Yep. That's mom.
Yeah. He's my little soul boy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does that answer the question for you, Amy?
Oh, yeah, you answered a lot of them actually, ones I didn't ask. So, yep, that was perfect. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing
Thank you.
with us. He's lovely.
Jax.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. Such a good boy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're at the end of our, meetings, ladies and gentlemen.
That went super fast.
So fast. Always so fast. So it's a wrap on readings. Karen, Julie, Meredith, Jody, you guys are incredible. Always touching us with your amazing messages. Magical. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us tonight. Thank you for helping us raise funds for what we do. quickly in the side chat, there's information on the ACC for anybody that wants to have a private reading with any of these amazing women, or there's other ones as well. And then